What's your name?
Gabby Delgado,
Age?
18,
Occupation?
student.
Okay, these are the questions. Number one, how did this pandemic affect you and your daily life?
Well, because I'm the type of person that likes being with my family and friends. I love hanging out with them. So, with this pandemic and the quarantine, you're really not able to see people. And there are days that you really miss them that much. And
How did you cope with it?
we have this thing called Discord. And I meet up with my friends there, video call, voice chat, anything, just message. And that's one of the best things that I can do for now, since we're in a global pandemic and we really can't see each other, for our safety and for the safety of others as well.
Okay. Number two, were there big chances that happened to you because of this pandemic? Big changes.
Well, yes, because I'm a student and I'm the type of student that learns with visuals. So with online, it was more of reading and stuff. So it was difficult for me to adjust, but I'm getting used to it and I'm coping with it.
Okay. Number three, are there anybody you know or people who you're close to had missed such great opportunity?
Because of the pandemic, yes. Actually, one of my best friends, they were supposed to go abroad for college, but because of the pandemic, there were a number of cases there. There were a great number of cases there, and they weren't able to go because for their safety. So for now, they stopped schooling, and it's a big change. It's a big change for them, and I see how much it affects them.
How did you comfort them, or did you realize or reflect on something about yourself because of it?
I helped them in a way that I was always there for them. Like every time they would message me or call me to tell me how sad things are, I'd just be that one friend that they can always cry on. Like it may not be physically, but it was a challenge for both of us, because I was there to comfort them, and it's also difficult for them because they couldn't go to where they were supposed to go, and it was their dream.
Okay. Number four, what do you think is the impact of the pandemic in our educational system in this country?
Well, not everybody is privileged enough to have access to the internet, nor to have gadgets to join their online classes. So I think that many students are losing this opportunity to learn and benefit also the country, so they can serve the country, serve the people. So not everybody is privileged.
Okay. Question number five, what do you think is the major reason why maraming hindi nakapag-aral ngayon?
Like I said, not everybody is privileged. So there are many people in our country in general that are having a difficult time now, because one, their parents are also struggling, because many people lost their jobs. So the parents aren't financially stable enough to support their children with everything. This big change that happened to us, and it was very sudden, so nobody was really expecting it to happen. And it's a difficult challenge, very very difficult, and that I think it's just poverty, I think, and the losing of jobs.
Okay. Number six, now since you've mentioned that you do believe it's poverty, Do you believe that opportunities were highly unequal in the Philippines?
Yes, definitely. Because other people, like I mentioned, that other people lost their jobs while others were able to keep it. So it wasn't really fair in a way, because if your position, let's say in a job, is high, you get to keep your job while others lose it. It's For me, I think that since you need more help, all the more that I would keep you in the job to help you and your family be stable for your everyday lives, and especially now because we're in a pandemic, we're not able to do the stuff that we were doing before.
Okay. Now these are a different set of questions again. Now, question number one is, tell me about your educational experience during online class.
In the beginning, it was very new to me because I got used to the face-to-face classes, and like I mentioned in the first question, that I'm the type of person that learns from visuals. So with the online classes, it was difficult for me to adjust, but you can still cope with it if you try your best and if you push yourself.
Okay, question number two. What do you think about the disadvantages of online class?
I think a disadvantage is that you it's different when you're talking to someone over the phone or on your laptop, on your gadgets, compared to face to face, because there you can see the gestures, you can have physical contact, they can show you figures and stuff. But also, not everybody is technologically advanced, so others may not know what this certain thing is, with these new technologies that's happening in our world. So it's difficult for them to learn it as well, since this is new to us and it was very sudden.
Do you think na kahit nag-enroll ka ngayon, may nawala na opportunities sa'yo?
Yes, I think so in a way, but for me, I'm just grateful that I'm enrolled, that I still have my classes, I have my professors and my classmates. But one opportunity that I think I lost is that I think if the pandemic wasn't here, I would have had a job, like as a working student, maybe, to support myself in a way, to help my parents lessen the burden. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
How did this pandemic affect you in your daily life? How did you cope with it? As a teacher, I don't feel like the pandemic has affected me a lot. Our class setup might have been changed as we started the school year virtually, but everything is being handled smoothly as we transition to the new normal. It may have been a challenge to us at first, but since our school is pretty much well supported by the local government of Pasig City, we were able to roll out the online or modular class seamlessly. Were there big changes that happened to you because of this pandemic? Not really. And 3, is there anybody you know or people who are close to you who had missed such great opportunity? How did you comfort them, or did you realize or reflect on something about yourself? Yes. I had this friend who aimed a higher position or a higher job position on a different branch of their company, but didn't get the post due to the lockdown restrictions. It is such a wasted opportunity for someone who longs a promotion but was unable to attain it due to the confines of pandemic. With the implementation of the online or modular class, a lot has changed in Terms of its impact to the students' learning. With online class, teachers are still able to manage and assess their students' learning due to the real-time interaction features of the online platforms. But on the other hand, this is impossible to do for modular classes. Students who enroll to this must be independent or at least be assisted by their parents or siblings or other household members to complete their modules. Since not all students can afford or has an access to the internet, this may result to low performance scores, thus resulting the poor education quality here in the Philippines. Okay, one big factor since the pandemic hits is the lack of internet access. As I have said, not all Filipinos can afford to have one, or if they can, internet facilities may still be unavailable to their areas, like sa provinces. Of course, most parents would prefer a real-time interaction between their children or their child and the teacher, something that can only be achieved by online class. So instead of having their child's burden to learn on their own, yung mga modular students, most of them would just withdraw from enrolling their children. This question may be subjective as a lot of factor needs to be considered to answer this, but my answer is no. The government gives us a wide variety of scholarship options, which a lot of people do not explore. Thus, it is safe to say that we have equal opportunities, but differ on each individual's willingness to strive for education. What do you think is the disadvantage of online classes? There are a number of drawbacks on online class as over face-to-face class. Students, technical difficulties, it requires more time than on-campus classes. It also requires the student to be more independent and many more. But as technological capabilities have reached new heights and many of the major concerns of students taking online classes have been addressed, the advantages of online classes are beginning to eclipse the disadvantages. Number 2. What type of struggles do you have mostly? Process-wise in teaching, each module is pretty much the same as I'm teaching technical drafting, which requires computer to deliver an output. But I guess what has changed is the time required to prepare for each module. Since we're using online classes, we not only need to prepare the lessons, but also the medium that we'll be using to conduct the classes. I'd say that this may only apply to the modular class. Students are losing the main key to their learning, interaction between teachers and the learners and also their classmates. The opportunity for teachers to boost their students' excitement to learn a topic and correlate their own experience to add to their learning is being missed due to this pandemic. I hope that the government can someday devise a way on how to provide an accessible internet for everyone in the comfort of their own homes to address this amidst the pandemic.
Next. Are there anybody you know or people who are close to you that had missed such great opportunity? How do you comfort them, or did you realize or reflect on something about yourself because of it?
Wala naman. Actually, may mga kakilala pa nga ako na nagkaroon pa ng opportunity na mag-start ng business, lalo na sa mga online business.
What do you think is the impact of pandemic set on the educational system of our country?
Base na rin sa maraming estudyante na nag-enroll this school year, mas stressful daw yung online class kaysa sa face-to-face class.
Next, what do you think is the major reason why there are a lot of people who cannot study today?
Kahirapan.
Do you think that poverty is the reason why there are a lot of people who can study today? If yes, do you believe that the opportunities were highly unequal in the Philippines, and why?
Kaya na rin ang sagot ko sa tanong kanina, maraming din nakakapag-aral dahil sa kahirapan. Unang-una yung mga kagamitan like phone, laptop, internet connection, or data. Minsan mamalasin pa dahil hindi ganun kalakas ang connection. Madami pa naman ang nawala ng trabaho ngayon, kaya imbes na magkaroon ng opportunity na makapag-aral, yung accounting budget mapupunta muna sa mga gastusin sa bahay.
What made you decide to stop schooling for this year? How do you feel about it?
Actually, yung mga magulang ko yung nagsuggest na wag daw muna mag-enroll this year. Pero yung mga kapatid ko kasi nag-enroll sila. Nag-agree na lang ako dahil ayoko rin naman talagang mag-enroll this year.
Thank you for your honesty, ma'am. Next, for the second question, in your view, what educational opportunity that was taken away from you?
Sa totoo lang, wala naman except sa nakamiss ako ng 1 year sa school.
And lastly, did you regret this decision or was this beneficial for you?
Hindi naman ako nag-regret. Actually, beneficial pa nga siya kasi nakapag-focus ako sa sarili ko. Yun lang.
Thank you for your wonderful answers, Miss Chelsea Kylie Dayan. And now that we have come to an end, I would like to thank our special guest and our dear viewers. Thank you very much.
I am Reginald Ian De Leon Cadina. I am 41 years old and I am a teacher by profession.
I think is the impact of the pandemic in our educational system.
Malaki kasi from face to face, biglang nag-shift sa online and independent learning. No? We're not ready for this. Though online classes are already are already existing even before pandemic, pero hindi talaga 100%. And it's only applicable pagdating sa siguro sa mga nagma-masters or doctorate degree, no? But in grade school and high school na mag-online class, it's really a new thing to all of us. So sa umpisa ng school year, talagang lahat nangangapa, no, on how to cope up with the online teaching. And we have to deal with it kasi, of course, the government has suspended the face-to-face of the face-to-face students, face-to-face education na pupunta ang mga estudyante sa eskwelahan. So everything is new. No? And of course, marami ding mga trabaho na apektuhan. No? Marami schools na nagsara. No? Sa sweldo naman ng mga teachers, may mga schools na talaga nagbawas sila ng mga empleyado nila, nagbawasan yung mga sweldo ng mga teachers. So, malaking impact sa educational system because online is new, especially in the basic education. Yeah.
Question number 5, sir. What do you think is the major reason why a lot of students haven't been able to study this year?
Well, ang sinasabi nila, according to the articles that I read, is because of poverty. No? Kahirapan sa buhay. Pero iniisip ko rin kasi, public schools are for free naman eh. No? Students can go to public school. But the thing is, ang nakita ko, may mga friends sila, second teachers from public school, the main reason bakit di nakakapasok ang mga bata sa eskwela and even it's for free is because they have to work. No? Child labor. Child labor ang nagiging problema na instead of papasukin ng mga magulang yung mga anak nila sa eskwelahan na for free naman sa public school, pinagtatrabaho nila para kumita ang mga anak nila. So, basically, sa population natin, 20% is in poverty line. Itong mga kabataan na to, instead of going to school, napipilitan sila maghanap ng trabaho. So, instead of going to school and have good education, they have to find means to live. Silang ginagamit ng mga magulang nila para magtrabaho sila. So it's one main reason bakit marami nila kapag-aral ngayon. Kasi they really have to struggle and find income in their family. Yun po.
Question number 6, sir. Since you did mention that it is poverty, do you believe that opportunities were highly unequal in the Philippines?
Well, reality speaking, yes, I think that there is really, when it comes to opportunities, unequal, especially kasi, lalo pa nanghanap pa ng trabaho, no? If you want to land a good job, dapat maganda talaga educational background mo, at least, no? At most of the companies, no, big companies, actually, sa totoo lang, they really look for for where did they graduate, minsan, the school really, kung saan ka gumraduate, really affects your, affects the percentage of acceptance pagdating sa trabaho. Pag nalaman ng graduate ka na Ateneo, LaSalle, UP, UST, yan, malaki ang chances, UP even. But I'm not saying na yung mga school nag-aaral sa hindi mga malalaking mga eskwelahan, big universities, hindi nakakapasok din naman sila. Mas advantage lang din siguro kapag nalaman nila nang galing sa Big Four schools na to. So, doon pa lang makita mo na agad yung unequal opportunities pag hindi ka nakatapos sa pag-aaral mo, makakakuha ka ng trabaho, pero you cannot get a good job, a higher income job kapag hindi ka nakagraduate talaga ng college. So yun kadalasan ang basihan, especially in our country.
Another set of questions. Number one, what do you think is the disadvantage of online class?
Disadvantage of online class? Well, siguro disadvantage to sa mga medyo matatanda na. Because new teachers, techie-wise sila Pero for example, sa amin, I'm already 40, and yung mga teachers na nasa 50s, nasa 60s, we really have to cope up, we really have to study the new technology. And nakaka-cope up naman, kaya lang yun lang medyo mahirap kasi number one is the strategies that we use. It's different from face-to-face class. Face-to-face class is different from the strategies that we use in online classes. Number two, disadvantage kasi there's no socialization sa mga bata. We only see the students in our laptops. They are enclosed into a box. And the socialization, hindi talaga sila nagkakakitaan. So, apektado ang social aspect ng growth ng isang bata. Kasi sa online class, hindi sila nagkita-kita. Unlike face-to-face, there's always an interaction between them. That's another disadvantage of online class. Isa pa siguro disadvantage sa online class is the strength of the internet, the Wi-Fi. Kapag mahina ang Wi-Fi sa isang lugar, talaga it really affects the the quality of the internet. So minsan bumabagal ang internet, mga bata, marami silang reason, hindi na nabubuksan kanilang webcam kasi mahina yung bandwidth ng kanilang internet. So that's another disadvantage. And another disadvantage siguro is yung pag nag-e-exam sila. Pag face-to-face kasi makita mo talaga that they cannot cheat. But in online classes, pag nag-take sila ng test, there is always a big risk of cheating kasi hindi mo sila nakita kung ginagawa na sa bahay nila. Even if you give your instructions na bawal ang cheating, bawal ang ito, ganyan, you cannot avoid kasi there's always room for temptation for them to cheat. So that's another disadvantage of online teaching. Yes, sir.
Okay. Number two, what type of struggles do you have mostly that since you have to switch to a method of teaching that is not being practiced that much in the past years? Was it hard to adjust? And how did you adjust to this new setting?
So online teaching, yes. At first, talaga it's really difficult to adjust, sir. Number one, kagaya nga naman sinasabi ko kanina, yung the way we teach, parang napakahirap para sa mga teachers na magbigay ng mga strategies sa online class kasi nga hindi namin sila nakikita. Lalo na pag-recitation, pag nag-recite ang mga bata, very limited ang kanilang time. Unlike ng face-to-face, pakita mo talaga na energetic sila. And we cannot, hindi kami basta-basta nakakapagawa ng mga activities na nagagawa namin during face-to-face. So it's really a struggle on our part na mag-adjust to this kind of environment. But as days passes by, ang kagandahan naman kasi is we learn. We learn from the things that we do every day and try to evaluate ourselves at the end of the day ano ba ang pagkukulang namin, saan kami nagkulang, and to try to focus on those mga bagay na kung saan kami nagkulang. And of course, it's good that there are mentors, mentor teachers who is also very helpful to us. No? Sa amin medyo hindi magaling sa technology, no? Tumutulong sila sa amin with the use of a lot of what we call this, applications in online classes. Mas napapadali ang trabaho namin. Pero wisely, mas draining talaga itong online class compared sa face-to-face. Draining in a sense na you have to focus yourself online talaga. Yun po.
Question number 3, sir. In your opinion, what type of educational opportunities both teachers and students have missed because of this pandemic?
I think it's more of the socialization part of the students. No? Yun talaga apektado. Students can socialize with their classmates. And of course, the social development of a student is also very important because it can boost his confidence in dealing with other people. How can we teachers teach our students if it is in the online? No? Nag-uusap sila online lang, pero iba talaga ang face-to-face eh. Online is virtual eh, no? Pero pag face-to-face, makita mo yung development ng bata socially. So how will you measure the social development of a kid kapag online class? Kung hindi sila nagkakaroon ng chance to mingle with each other physically, no? So yun talaga nakita kong aspeto na magiging problema, no, na nawawala ng social growth ang bata pagkipag-socialize sa kanyang mga classmates. No? Kasi it's also one thing na nade-develop sa eskwelahan eh. No? Yung camaraderie, friendship, pagkakaibigan ng mga bata inside the classroom. No? Kasi sila yan eh. In online class, you cannot do that because you're in the comfort of your homes. Yes, you can talk virtually, but virtually is different from face-to-face. So yun siguro isang miss opportunity sa online class.
Okay, question number 1 ulit. What made you decide na hindi muna mag-aral?
Siguro kaya, ang unang reason din kaya nag-stop ako dahil una wala akong gadget din. Kung sakaling may gadget mo tutulong, madaming kailangan sa bahay na gastusin kaya walang tatay ko lang kikilos kaya kailangan ko rin kumilos mag-work para may i-gastusin sa bahay sa yung di ko para sa akin kasi hindi ko kailangan nagpagmadali sa pag-aaral. Madami akong skills and mga tawag dito madiskarte tutusin kasi talo pa ng madiskarte yung may alam sa school kung gumawa dito na akong laude pero pag sa diskarte mo talo ka di ba kapag-aaral.
Sa iyong palagay, ano yung educational opportunity na nawala sa'yo?
Siguro yung opportunity na yun yung makapag-aral sa university na gusto ko rin na sa aking scholarship na yun na nakakadamo sana ako sa like UAP o NCAA na pasok yung age ko na hanggang 5 years na makalaro ako. Ngunit na-stop din ng pandemya na to kaya siguro kung mag-aaral man ako 3 years na lang at yung the rest na 2 years ako hindi magbabayad, mahirap din. Ayun din yung parang sa nawala rin sa akin.
Na-regret mo ba yung decision na yun o nasa benefits mo din yung decision na yun?
Yung decision na ginawa ko hindi mo na mag-aaral is kumaga ano ko talaga yung choice ko talaga yun na hindi mo na mag-aaral kasi kung tutusin kung mag-aaral man ako sabi nga nila o sinasakayunan ko rin na paano pa-aanin ko ba kung mag-aaral ako yung mga skills na matututunan ko sa school is pwede kong makuha sa labas plus kikita pa ako na mas madaming opportunity na nakuha yung may experience kaysa yung may hawak ng diploma man o graduate man sila dahil sa school ka lang mas namang yung sa labas na madami na tututunan sila at mas mabilis na ma-develop.
Okay, maraming salamat.
Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Pauline David Jaime and I'm 19 years old and I'm incoming first year college this school year but I didn't enroll this school year.
What do you think is the impact of the pandemic in the educational system in our country?
Hindi handa yung Pilipinas sa online class, lalo yung mga estudyante at mga teacher. Kasi lalo na yung gadgets, hindi lahat may kakayahang bumili ng gadgets. Hindi lahat may kakayahang magpa-load araw-araw. Lalo yung mga nasa mga lugar na liblib, yung walang signal, yun yung mahirap na pinaka-struggle talaga ng mga estudyante ngayon tsaka ng mga teacher ngayon. So yun, hindi natin yung Pilipinas sa online class na lahat kasi nasanay tayo na face-to-face karamihan. Tapos iba, kunti lang yung mga nag-homeschool. So yun, halos lahat ng mga nag-aaral yun, struggle talaga yung mga internet. Tapos yung matutunan, mahihirapan kang matuto through online na ikaw lang ang mag-self-study. Yan.
Next, let's proceed to the next question. What do you think is the major reason why there are a lot of people who cannot study today?
Maraming walang kakayahan na makabili ng gadgets. Karamihan sa Pilipino may kaya lang, hindi makabili ng gadgets, ng loan. Tsaka nga yung mga module na araw-araw sinasagutan, gano'n. Tsaka siguro, mas pinili ng mga magulang na rin na hindi pag-enrollin yung mga bata kasi nga, maninibago, hindi naman kasi sana yung mga bata na naka-online class.
Thank you for your answer, Miss. And next, do you think that poverty is the reason why there are a lot of people who can study today? If yes, do you believe that opportunities are highly unequal in the Philippines and why?
Sa tingin ko, isa rin sa mga rason yung kahirapan kasi nga, tulad ng sinabi ko na hindi lahat makakabili ng gadgets, hindi lahat maayos yung internet connection, hindi lahat makakapag-load araw-araw para sa internet, hindi lahat stable yung internet. So yun, kaya maraming hindi rin siguro nakapag-enroll this school year or
Why did you decide to stop schooling for this year? How do you feel about it?
Unang rason kung bakit hindi na pag-desisyonan ko na mag-stop muna this school year is yung decision ni mama na baka wala akong natutunan. Since first year college ako, mahirap kumbaga new stage ng buhay mo yun eh. Kolehiyo, hindi na siya laro-laro. So, sa tingin ng magulang ko, siguro hindi ko kakayanin yung face-to-face kasi nga hindi naman ako sanay. Lagi simula kinder hanggang high school, naka-face-to-face ako. Mahirap mag-adjust na face-to-face na mag-online class ka tapos yun nga mahirap sa college. Tapos hindi ko pa alam yung i-take ko na course kasi nga undecided pa din ako. Marami akong pinag-iisipang course. So, pumayag ako kay mama na hindi muna ako makapag-enroll this school year.
Thank you for your honesty, Miss Pauline. Next, in your view, what educational opportunity that was taken away from you?
Wala naman sa tingin ko kasi hindi lang yung isang taon na pag-stop ko sa kolehiyo, first year ko sa college, hindi lang yan para maabot ko pa yung mga pangarap ko sa mga susunod na taon kasi may mga courses naman na inaabot ng ilang years. So, yan, kaya ko naman sigurong bawiin yan.
And lastly, did you regret this decision or was this beneficial for you?
Time ako na hindi. Nangihinayang ako sa taon, tsaka kung iisipin mo kasi na yung mga kabatch ko, college na, tapos kahit naman na may mga kabatch ako na hindi nag-enroll this school year. So parang naging pampagaan, pampalubag-loob sa sarili ko na, makasabayan ko kaya wag kang mag-alala. Siguro beneficial siya kasi hindi ko pa talaga alam yung iti-take kong course. Kung nag-enroll ako na hindi ko alam talaga yung course na kukunin ko, pinush ko na mag-enroll ako this school year pero hindi ko naman sure yung course na kukunin ko. Parang sayang din yung tuition na gagamitin kung hindi naman ako sure din sa iti-take kong course.
Thank you for your wonderful answers, Miss Pauline. And now that we have come to an end, I would like to thank our special guests and our viewers. Thank you very much, everyone.